Hey guys, I'm Boo. We're in New Jersey, and welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. So today's movie we're going to talk about is called The Man with Two Brains.
Yeah.
And this movie, of course, you could see it's starring Steve Martin. And this was a really cool movie. It wasn't a horror exactly.
Oh,
I mean, it kind of is, but in like the B-rated funny sense.
Yeah, but it was so good. I love this movie.
It's basically about a guy who's a brain surgeon, and he starts to use this new method, this new screw on
where
top
he
of
just
his
literally
head
screws their heads on and pulls them off.
To do brain surgery, and it's not even brain surgery, it's like a brain transplant or something he's attempting. And so he goes to this conference and he's talking about it, and everybody's just like, oh, you're crazy, you know, like whatever, this guy's a wacko. And like this other guy creeps out of the woodwork and is like, oh, you ought to see what I'm working on. And he's got a bunch of brains in his house, which is like a giant castle. But at the same time, it's all like made out of paper. Like the walls are like paper thin.
You just like walk right through them.
Right. So, anyways, he's got brains in jars in this solution, which is Windex, is it? Or window cleaner or something?
Yeah, something weird.
Like there's this, at the same time, there's like this killer who's injecting people with window
the
cleaner.
Elevator clean.
Yeah, the elevator killer. He hits you with a needle full of window cleaner.
Yeah.
And that's how they keep the brain alive. And so basically they plan on using the brain to transplant it into another living donor. And so he's like dumbfounded by this, and he's like amazed, and he comes back to the guy's house to talk to him more about it, and he hears this voice. And of course this woman, he's like thinking of his wife who died. He was he just got married, as a matter of fact, to this crazy psycho lady who like is trying to kill him.
She just wants money.
Right. He accidentally hit her with her car, did brain surgery on her, and then like fell in love with her. And she was hot, so he wanted to bang her, but she would never like go for it.
She would like sleep with like the landscape
gardener,
guys,
the landscaper, whatever it was.
Everyone else but him.
Right.
Or she would be like, I'm gonna touch you. Or then like and then he would be like, that's the best non-sexual experience I've ever had that made me still like orgasm, basically. Like it was funny.
It was so funny. It's very much so a comedy, but in the
it's so funny.
So anyways, in the grand scheme of things, he hears this voice coming from this guy's like lab where it's one of the brains, and so he can mentally like communicate with this brain. Nobody else can hear the brain talking except for him, and he can only like talk to that one brain.
But then he's like obsessed with her. He takes her on dates as she's still a brain in a jar.
Right.
Like,
and the thing is that brain outlives all the other brains in the lab. For whatever reason, it's special somehow. And so he wants to find a hot girl to transfer her brain into. It's absolutely a riot. Like,
it's so
absolutely
hilarious. Like, the comedy is just so good. Like, it's also Steve Martin, and he's
exactly.
hilarious.
Iconic, absolutely.
But, like, it was just so funny. And then, like, there's this one scene where she's still a brain in the jar, and he's like, I bought you wax lips.
Oh, yeah, and he sticks the wax lips in the jar, and he's, like, kissing the jar.
It's so
And then his wife
funny.
is like, oh, somebody said they saw you out on the lake today kissing your jar or whatever. He's like, no, I was in surgery all day or whatever. And she's like, oh, that's funny. I saw a guy who was making out with a jar with a brain in it. Looked exactly like you.
But then, like, the entire clincher of this is, like, as Keith said, he's trying to find a hot girl to put the brain in. And then he finally realizes, like, how his current wife, she dies. Like, she dies. And then they put the brain in her. And then you cut to the end scene, and she's like, he's thinking, like, he wakes up, like, he thinks he's gonna get his hot wife, but with the brain that he fell in love with.
Oh, yeah, but the woman had, like, an eating disorder.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry, I was a compulsive eater. I hope you don't mind. And it's, like, this bigger woman, like, not skinny and, like, not hot.
I think it was it the same girl in a fat suit, or was it somebody else?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I'd like to find that out.
It was the perfect way to end the movie, but it was just so
absolutely.
like it kept us laughing the entire time. There was not a dull moment. There's not one that was like, okay, like I can't get through this.
But I mean, it does still fall in the Halloween theme, mad science and brains and things like that.
I highly recommend.
So, yeah.
You should watch it and let us know in the comments if you like it and what your favorite scenes are.
Absolutely. But that's all we got for this one. So go ahead and click over here to catch yesterday's 31 Days of Horror episode. Click above my head to see Allie's channel also doing the 31 Days of Horror. And you can click over here to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Also, click the bell icon so you never miss another video. That's about all we got, so we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.